Buongiorno amici. Ciao a tutti. Sono BC. This is Minecraft. Welcome to my world. So I'm out here in the painted desert. I've actually been out here for a while, just kind of doing some work behind the scenes, and as you can see, got a little path behind us, and back there in the back is that mine that we talked about some time ago. Let's go check it out. So working on this path, I got a couple little bridges in here. Oh, let me turn this guy on. A couple little bridges and some more path here. A beacon. We went hunting some skulls on our way here at a few different fortresses, and long story short, got a beacon. Much more successful than our last attempt, because this time we just suffocated him. And yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, guy. Okay. Oh, snap. Well, that's what I get for not having my armor on, and I'll bet you he's wearing it all now. Let's take our sharpness axe. Let's go kill him. Nope. Good. Oh, don't come over here. Alright. Alright, so, anyway, yeah, so we've been clearing all this out. I'm making these bridging systems because I'm actually going to be digging downward as well, so it'll look kind of like a pit, like it's over a big pit. And we just been running and looking up and mining it out, and it's getting this effect, this jagged ceiling effect, which I think is totally rad. And I'm not going to smooth it out. I don't want to clean it out. I just want to give it that look, so it just looks like a big cavern with a jagged. Of course, you know, it's not very efficient. I'm not getting all the resources that I could be, but it's all good. So like I said before, you know, we want to hollow this mountain out. That farthest away wall over there is about the extent of the beacon effect. Right now it's switched on regen, so we don't die, but of course doesn't appear to be working. So yeah, we've gone through and we've actually wasted the pulverizer a couple times. We're back to 54. That's good enough to get us through the nether and back home. Alright, made it back safe and sound, and we're gonna make a small little special delivery for Lilycat. Give her all that hardened clay right there. Go ahead and empty out, well, as best as we can, our ender chest. We'll get that other stuff later. That might give it away right there. But I made a tunnel that safely leads us down to our iron golem spawner. Now, here I did the indents and the sconces behind some chain, and every once in a while you get one that's hosed up and got some leaves coming out. Some leaves coming out of different cracks and crevices in the ceilings and the walls, so I like that. I think it turned out real good. I tried to be a little bit random and whatnot, and then went ahead and tamed this corner of the lava and adjusted everything a little bit, and I think it turned out okay. You know, it kind of disrupts a lot of the symmetry we had going on, but I think it's gonna work. I think it looks good. So a little bit of step up. I pushed this whole lava wall back a little bit, and yeah, then you got the way up there. So I think that works. I think it works good, and I'm happy with the way it turned out. All right, so I'm back, and we're gonna go ahead and put our pumpkin farm over here in this little area next to our donkey friends. And to do that, we're gonna go ahead and have to drain this lake. and section off the area that we're going to need. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that, and I'll be right back with you. So the lake is drained. We're going to start our layout of the area in which we are going to build, and we're going to make sure just so we don't have any other issues, we want to try and align this one as best as we can in its chunk. And so I'm looking at the chunk right now, and this is the edge of 1, 15, 0, 3, 2, 0, 0. Okay, so you see that on the X at the end it says C -1, 0, -6, 0. So we're going to do that, and that will ensure that we okay, and I think we're going to go all the way to 1 or 0. I think it's 0 to 15 actually, right? 0, we'll go up to 15. Alright, and then this direction we're going to go out to 15, which takes us a little ways. Alright, so that's 15. So that's in the chunk. Alright, let me go ahead and lay out the perimeter inside this chunk, and I'll be right back. Allora, here we are, and we've completely dug out the area that we're going to put the pumpkin in. I've also taken the liberty to do a little bit of design and little design and shaping into it. And right now you can see these pieces of glass. That's going to be the area in which our machine is going to take. Now keep in mind, we are doing this in survival, so that means there's baddies. But basically this design needs a 13 by 14 area. It only requires 13 by 14, but I'm going to do it in a 14 by 14 just to create a little bit more symmetry. This is the overall area that's required, but the area we're going to concentrate our machine in is going to be more towards this inside piece. And right now we're going to go ahead and pull that out. And I've already taken the liberty under here to lay some stone down. And that's going to kind of be the designation of where we're going to put our first piece of the machine. Okay, now that we've got our basic layout for where our machine is going to reside, we're going to go ahead and start laying some of the hardware. So we're going to start with the underground portion, which we're going to need some sticky pistons, 14 sticky pistons. We'll need 14 pieces of dirt, some stone bricks, and we're going to need some repeaters. 14 repeaters, but we'll just take that group right there. So, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now this last 8th row is actually going to be some redstone, and that's going to be traveling behind our contraption. This area is redstone here. Alright, and our repeaters are going to be here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And those are all going to be going into pistons. Whoops. Alright, and in the middle we're going to go ahead and put some stone brick because we don't need the middle open, and we're going to lay our next 7 pistons down. And last we're going to put our dirt in place. This is the area in which the pumpkins will actually grow on, and that is our base. Okay, so the next piece to this construction is to build the water channels that are going to keep the plants hydrated. And in order to facilitate that, we're going to knock this piece out right here, and this here. And we're going to go ahead and put a redstone torch here to raise up our soil. Oh. 1 redstone powder. And that's going to get our pistons and our soil in place as far as where they're going to be when the machine is actually up and running. Okay, so the first step is to start building the foundation of our of our machine. And I'm using orange blocks again just for the theme. You can use any color block you desire. We're going to place an orange block there, and the other one's going to sit right on top of where this dust is right here, like so. 2 blocks tall. And just for the sake of design, I'm going to use half slabs. You can use full blocks or whatever you want to do. But we're going to go ahead and put this right here. And the reason why I'm using half slabs too is so I can kind of see down inside there, but you can use full blocks, of course. And then we'll put another row of blocks right here. And when looking at it from this side, this area here is where our water is going to live. So in order to accommodate that, we're going to go ahead and block it off with dirt. Like that there. And now we want to go ahead and fill this area with water. Like so. And I'll go ahead and fill my buckets up for the other side as well. Lastly, take our hoe and go ahead and cultivate that side nearest the water. I'm going to repeat this on the other side and I'll be right back. Okay, with both sides in place, we want to go ahead and start working on the next level up and the rear timing mechanism that will trigger the upper pistons. Now, we need to make sure we have plenty of light for everything to grow. So we're going to place some glowstone at this point here. And we're just going to go ahead and cover off the top of the water like this so. And this is also going to prevent anything from flying out of the system as well. And while we're at it, we're going to go ahead and plant our seeds, our pumpkin seeds, so that way the system can go ahead and start growing up these vines, so once we near completion, we'll actually see the things in action. We're going to fill in this area here, as we don't really want anything to go down in there. And with that in place, we'll set up the flushing system and the wiring to get up on top of the machine for the pushing of the pumpkins. We're going to start by placing a couple bricks here and here, and that's going to be part of the redstone wiring that's going to go up over the machine. This brick, and then a chain of bricks around the back here. And again, this is all for our wiring. We want to place a redstone torch here and one here, and we're going to put both of those on full delay. Now, in this area here is where our water trench is going to go, and we're going to set up the base of our trench using these orange blocks just to stay with our theme. And we'll put, again, blocks on the outside here, getting rid of this one, just for styling, using the half slabs. And now that it's in place, we'll go ahead and put our 2 buckets of water in place, refilling both while we're at it. And that is our trench. Coming back to the back, we want to go ahead and get our wiring from one side to the other. And this is the stepping in which our wiring will be proceeding upwards. To have our wiring continue to go upwards, we'll need to first create a second platform which will reside right over this water here. At that point, we can place our redstone wiring in this configuration, placing another orange block on top of each one of our glowstone and another half slab connecting to it. With those half slabs in place and wiring also on our orange blocks, this creates a stepping from here to here to here for the wiring to travel upwards to the top of the machine. Now it's time to get this signal from the front. I'm going to dig out this grass here, and really this is a matter of preference. By no means do you have to tear your grass up, but I've always been a big fan of putting my wiring on some solid bricks and not grass, gravel, or cobblestone. I'm a little bit short, so let me grab some more. And this is the direction in which our wiring is going to travel from the front of the machine. By the time it gets here, it's going to need this repeater here, which we'll also put on full delay, and we'll run our wiring to the front. Now we're doing it one away because if it was here, it would connect to the wiring that's down below here, and that would not work for our purpose. If you want to make this more compact, you can put the wiring right up against the machine, but you will need to use repeaters to get all the way down. We'll continue by digging out the rest of this grass as it goes around the front of the machine, all the way up to just this orange block for now. And we'll replace all of that with the stone block that we were using previously. I'm also going to extend out one block here and place a stone block in this place with a block here. Our redstone wiring will start from here and will work its way around to the back of the machine once our front mechanism is built. Okay, to build the front of the machine, we're going to start with some item hoppers. I'm going to place one straight down, one into its side, and another one into its side. And this is going to be the final destination for our pumpkins when they travel down as they've been washed by the canal in the rear. We're going to go ahead and place a block over the center one, as that is really just a central focus point. And for the sake of this tutorial, I'm not going to continue the hopper chain beyond this one. I'll leave that up for you as far as where you would like to have your final destination. But all you need to do, since there is no wiring in the front of this machine that will interfere or lock out the hoppers, you could simply go down and run it to wherever off-site location, or you could place a chest in the place of this hopper and simply retrieve your pumpkins from this location. We'll place a brick here on this side and a brick here on this side. Again, it doesn't matter what type of bricks, but I'm using the theme of the orange and the brick. And we're going to place another brick here and here to mimic the back side we have. And now we're going to finish off our upper wiring and our push mechanisms for when the pumpkins are ready to be harvested. We'll start off by, again, going with our slabs. And we're going to run these slabs across this area here, extending out a second row as a shelf overhanging the plants themselves. At this time, while we're in this area, we can go ahead and extend this shelf through the center just short of the final position here. This will just allow us to get up and down until we're really ready. On the top, we want to go ahead and extend our redstone wiring down the far outside and come back and place our repeaters on the inside edge facing inward with no delay. With those repeaters in place, the next thing we want to do is get our pistons in place. Now this is going to be a little bit tricky because we want our pistons facing downward. So in order to achieve that, we need to first put ourselves some guide blocks in the way. I'm just going to use this block here as a guide, and once I have that in place, I can come underneath and I could put all my pistons where they need to be. Oops. facing downward. I have no need for these blocks that are on top of the pistons, so you can go ahead and remove those, and in fact, we will be using those blocks underneath the pistons. To simulate the growth of a pumpkin, you can imagine it growing right here, represented by this yellow block. And so we're going to need a row of blocks in this position here to push our grown pumpkins out of the way and into the trench. I'm going to go ahead and repeat this entire setup on our other side, and I'll be right back with you. For the last piece for the top of this build, we need to go ahead and install the mechanism that will activate triggering this entire machine, which is the growth of the pumpkins itself. To do so, we first need to lay out another group of stone slabs, with the last one here being a full stone brick. Previously, I had said we were going to stay one short. We actually need to take this last one off, which means that you will have two positions at the very end of the front of the machine that are blank. And at this time, on this solid block, we're going to place a torch in the front and a redstone dust below, so it's hot and active. Around the back of the machine, we need to place our final trigger mechanism. To do that, we need to suspend one more block here, and place a redstone dust. We're going to go ahead and place these repeaters down the center. This will also provide an additional delay, shutting off the signal to the front of our machine when the pumpkin activates it. Around the front of the machine, we want to finish off our trigger mechanism by placing two half slabs in this location over the item hoppers. At those positions, we want to place a repeater in each one of them with no delay. And in front of those repeaters, we want to place full blocks like this and that, and here, a torch in the front here, and a torch on top here, a torch here, redstone in the middle. And as a guard, we want to go ahead and place another half slab right there and across the top here. This will keep any vegetables that are being harvested from popping out of their locations and just provide some cover to the front of the machine. Now, what we're building here in the front is an AND gate, meaning that when there's a trigger here and there's a trigger here, this machine will satisfy both conditions and trigger our system. And just to ensure that our signal does get all the way around, we're going to put one more repeater right here on full delay.
Alright, you may have noticed that to the right of our machine we left two spaces, and that is because we need to install a timing device. And in these two spaces over here, we're going to install a hopper dropper clock. So first we need to start by placing some stone bricks in this front configuration here. We're going to remove this dirt and place some stone bricks to place our droppers on. And we're going to place two droppers on the side here facing into each other. So one here and one there. Okay, so our droppers are facing into each other. Now, coming out of our droppers, we're going to need to grab a signal from each one of them, and we're going to do that using these redstone comparators. And each one of those redstone comparators are going to lead to a hopper, and those two hoppers are actually going to face into each other as well. Now, the purpose of the droppers is to be like an on and off switch, and the hoppers are actually our timer. So to get the on and off switch type device, we're just going to place one item inside our dropper, and inside our hoppers we're going to place 16 items to give us our timing. Now, as our hoppers are doing their work, we're going to need the signals out of them that they produce. The first signal would be on this side, so we're going to place a comparator to grab the signal. One block there, and a redstone repeater to grab the signal out of this block. The next signal is going to be coming out of this hopper here, like so, and we'll actually put that pumpkin right back down in there so we maintain some light. Okay, so the other signal, as you can see right now, this comparator's lit, and that's because there's the one pumpkin inside here. And when we place another comparator here, that's also going to light up, and that's because there's items inside there. So we want to place a redstone torch here. We're going to dig up this soul sand here. And the reason why we put these blocks here is to act as a bridge, because we actually need to come back into the block here that will power this dropper here. So I'm just going to dig this dirt out here. We'll place some redstone dust. And you can see it's going under our system, and it will be coming from this torch here. Alright. Now, the last step is to power this dropper here, and this dropper is going to be activated based on our system activation. So we grab the signal from our activation spot, which is the torch here on the AND gate, and voila, we'll run up to our dropper. Now what will happen is the switch, the AND gate, will activate this signal. Once this dropper is activated, it's going to push this jack-o'-lantern into this dropper here, which will therefore depower this hopper, sending all these items over to this one, which creates the start signal for the clock. When the items go over here, it'll activate this redstone comparator, which will drop the floor down. The 16 items will stay over here. Once all items are gone from this position, this comparator will depower, flipping on this torch, which will then power this redstone torch, which will power this line, clicking this dropper, which will throw this jack-o'-lantern back into the right side dropper. And when it does that, this comparator will lose power, and it will shift all these items back to this side, eventually depowering the floor to raise it back up, and the entire cycle is restarted.
So now it's time to see our machine in action and see what it does and how it's working. I've gone ahead and filled it up with pumpkins that I had standing by, and we're going to simulate the last two pumpkins growing. Now, first we need a pumpkin to grow in this location, and when it does, you see that half of our AND gate is triggered off, and we just need the second condition of our AND gate to be met, which is a pumpkin growing in this front area here. And once that occurs, the switch is flipped, the ground is dropped, the water is made so the pumpkins can come forward, the top goes back up, and once our hopper dropper timer is complete, the ground will go back up and prepare itself for the next harvest. Now you'll notice that we have a pumpkin that's hanging out here in the dirt. This is inevitable. There's nothing to do. There's nothing that you can do to stop pumpkins from getting stuck on the vines. It's just a calculated loss in the design of any automated farm. But overall, we can see that out of the 14 pumpkins that should have got, we got 12. I'd say that's pretty good. That's about, what, 80%? Maybe a little bit better. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. I had a lot of fun building it. I hope you're able to follow along in the step-by-step as you build it in your worlds. And again, this is SMP friendly, no issues. Next time we get together, my hopes is that we can go ahead and build the pumpkin skin on top of this that we started to build last time before it decided to corrupt the world. And I hope you'll join me for that. Should be a good time. Again, thanks again for watching. Ciao a tutti, buona giornata, and bye bye for now. Ciao amici.